What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. We are going to be doing a wrestling news video today. If you guys haven't already, feel free to subscribe for all things wrestling. We're going to be talking about Jeff Hardy. What's his status? What's going on with Kenny Omega? Is Mercedes Moné going to appear at Forbidden Door 2? We are also going to be talking about if WWE potentially spoiled a major storyline, alongside what could be happening for Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania, and a new premium live event that was revealed by WWE. And a specific masked luchador is finally going to be removing his mask. We're going to go ahead and talk about that. Let's begin. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Jeff Hardy and his DUI case dating all the way back to June of 2022. It was closed on Thursday after he submitted a written plea of a nolo contendere to all the charges. The benefit to pleading with a nolo contendere is that not only is it a no contest, but the fact that you can avoid a guilty plea used against you in a cause of action such as a civil suit for damages, etc. So it's a really good thing for Jeff here. He basically accepted as if he was a guilty plea, but he never admitted to it. Now here's where things get interesting. He spent 38 days in county jail, but after all of this, he's now going to have 2 years in probation. He's going to have to pay $4,500 in fees, $4,586 to be more precise. He's going to have a 10-year suspension on his license. All his vehicles are being repossessed. He's going to have a 2-year with an interlock device and a 90-day vehicle impoundment. He has a court-mandated DUI school and or rehab program. In other words, one or the other doesn't really make a difference. Once that specific portion is done with the drug rehab program or the school, he can return to AEW if he wants. He's also going to be tasked with doing community service. Although there is no interest in Hardy himself actually saying if he'd want to return to wrestling or not, we'll keep you guys updated in the loop. Now we're going to speak on Kenny Omega. Now his contract was set to expire in January, but as I stated in previous videos, Tony Khan can technically extend it due to the time he spent away out of the ring when he was injured, and that appears to have been the case. AEW was able to extend the contract, which is why I was stating that now it kind of coincides with the Mercedes Moné, and here's why. On February 23rd, Mercedes Moné tweeted that it was very nice to meet Kenny Omega, and she also wrote, "Until our paths cross again." Kenny Omega responded to this tweet saying, quote, "Our work in New Japan Pro Wrestling isn't quite done yet, so I'm sure they will. I hear they sometimes do mixed matches now." Now this led fans to a plethora of different ideas. Most notably, as you guys know, Kenny Omega and Riho are pretty tight. Some people were speculating that Kenny Omega and Riho could team up to fight the current IWGP champions Okada, Rainmaker, and Mercedes Moné. Now this would be a fantastic match. Not only does that make sense for Forbidden Door 2, but since Mercedes Moné only has 2 more dates left in New Japan Stardom at the time of this recording, it would make sense for her schedule to be freed up for June. Now the reason why I say Forbidden Door is going to be in June is because of this. Spectrum Cable may have actually ruined the potential spoiler date. Now Tony Khan himself has not commented on this, however, usually these are usually pretty accurate. The company's pay-per-view listings have the event scheduled for Saturday, June 24th, 2023, whereas the first Forbidden Door place took place in Sunday of June 26, 2022 from the United Center in Chicago. So it would make perfect sense. It would be apropos, if you will, if it happens again on June the 20th, right? It's going to happen June 24th per Spectrum. Now, again, Tony Khan hasn't commented on this, but if it was to happen, it would make a lot of sense since, again, it happened on the 26th last year, June. Now, did WWE spoil a potential storyline? And the reason why I say this is WWE had advertised on the March 4th edition of the live event in Toronto, Canada, that it will be headlined by Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Now, a lot of people here are assuming that they will reconcile in one form or another, but WWE has seemingly gone out of their way to pretty much expose the fact that it is indeed gonna happen. Now, if you guys have been watching wrestling, last Monday on Raw, Kenny Omega.
You must be some kind of a dumbass.
Hello, we're on the next segment now, bud. Kevin Owens has walked off on Sami Zayn. So, right now, people are like, well, it's obvious they're going to get back together, but how do we get there? And that's the thing, right? Nothing is concrete until the wrestling itself shows it. And the fact that they have already promoted this in a way pretty much confirms that they will get back together and that they will, in some capacity, take on the Usos at WrestleMania. This is pretty much the spoiler. Now, if you guys don't know, for the last number of months, the idea was always for Rey Mysterio to face his son at WrestleMania. And they were going to go the route of creating the opening of the match heavily at the Royal Rumble, but due to Rey Mysterio getting injured against his match with Karrion Kross, they decided to go another route with Dominic Mysterio coming out with the mask instead, which hinted at the fact that Dominic potentially took him out, which makes sense. Now we're going to be fast forwarding to SmackDown here, where Dominic Mysterio is advertised to show up with Rhea Ripley, and in some form or another, one would assume that in this specific SmackDown, because I have yet to see it, Dominic Mysterio will make his presence felt and create the opening here that will be needed to pursue the match further at WrestleMania. Now, no word if this is going to be a career on the line type of scenario, but if they do their first singles match, it would make sense for it to happen at WrestleMania, father versus son. WWE are interested in bringing back the King of the Ring, and it's perfect because they are also going to be returning the Queen of the Ring as well. And in this specific premium live event, it's going to be its own premium live event, its own pay-per-view, and it will take place on May of the 27th. This is perfect because a lot of people have been asking for this event to take place and its own premium live event, that they want its own thing to happen. Comment down below who you'd like to see win the Queen and King of the Ring. With that being said, Money in the Bank went on tickets for the general public on sale February 24th at around 10 a.m. Eastern Time. WWE is reporting that the 2023 Money in the Bank general ticket sales have sold out in 1 minute. Drew McIntyre also went on to say this. He tweets out the following. He says, quote, "I've been told tickets sold out in 1 minute flat." Emoji, exploding head, and the UK flag, which is fantastic. As you guys know, on NXT, Grayson Waller and Shawn Michaels have been going at it ever since Grayson Waller lost at Vengeance Day. I would even say beforehand, actually, but it picked up after Vengeance Day. He interrupted a live seminar, webcast, whatever it is you want to call it, that Shawn Michaels was doing, post-show interview thing, and right then and there, Shawn Michaels suspended him. He came back, he showed up this past Tuesday on NXT, took over the ending of the show by changing the controller, which was funny. A lot of people are saying that Shawn Michaels might come out of retirement. That is not the case. As you guys know, Dragon Lee recently signed with WWE, and he was projected to only be in NXT for 1 year. I think this is the way that they not only get Grayson Waller to the main roster, but they also have Grayson Waller fight Dragon Lee at Stand and Deliver by having Shawn Michaels advocate Dragon Lee on his behalf. So he'll, be like, I have someone that you can face at Stand and Deliver. If you beat them, whatever. If you don't, you're out of NXT forever. Grayson Waller's like, yeah, it doesn't matter who it is, I'll fight them. In comes Dragon Lee. We get Dragon Lee versus Grayson Waller. He puts over Dragon Lee on the way out. Dragon Lee looks like $1 million because Grayson is just that damn good, and he goes on to the main roster. Now, the last portion is a specific luchador getting rid of his mask. Lince Dorado. Lince Dorado tweeted out the following, quote, "I've contemplated this for a while now, possibly 5 years now. For almost 2 decades, I've been someone I'm not. I have decided this will be my last year masked. Question is, will I lose it or say F it? This is the real me. Hashtag Lucha Lit." Honestly, man, I'm excited to see where this goes. Lince Dorado, he can actually talk. He's not the best on the mic because I feel like WWE hasn't given him the option to do so, but I do think he can make it without the mask. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for watching everything. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. For more things wrestling news like this, you're already in the right place. Peace.